back to another edition of The Night Shift, and pleased to welcome in a guy that we had on. Actually, he's one of the first guests we ever had on The Night Shift, and we appreciate the fact that he's willingly elected to come back and visit with us again. And a lot has changed for him in the year and a half since he's been with us here on The Night Shift. We welcome in the great Eric Wirsing. Eric, how are you? Thanks for coming back.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, full disclosure, I had a great time last night at your Van Wirsing show.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Allen Theater, and wow. I think there were a lot of people that were there last night. You guys, whether it's Solar Federation, of course we'll talk about that, but you guys do have an ingrained fan base, between Solar Federation, what you're doing now with Van Wirsing. But some of the people that I talked to and just kind of getting the vibe, you were brand new to a lot of people in the audience last night. And, I said to my wife about halfway through the show, I was like, boy, wait until they hit the encore, wait until they hit jump, and wait till everybody's out of their seats and having a blast and having a ball and having a good time. So, just a fan in the crowd. I thought it was a tremendously successful show last night.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the Allen Theater, that was my first time ever playing there, and I like the Allen Theater a lot. It's a great place.
It was the first time I had ever seen a show there. And for those of you that haven't seen a show there, I highly recommend. They've got a pretty impressive lineup of bands that are going to continue to be coming in here. Like, they're booked out. I was looking at their website, through the fall, and a lot of really fun bands. And same thing, my wife and I, we left and we looked at, this is not going to be the last time. For us, it's about a 40-minute drive, which isn't the end of the world. Yeah. It's not a big deal. But I was like, this is not the last time we schlep over to Anvil to see a show. So, speaking of which, one of the big things that has changed in the last year and a half, and it really happened awesomely and organically, is in addition to Solar Federation, we see the guitar. You were doing Van Wirsing. For those that don't know, Eric holds down guitar in both Solar Federation and in Van Wirsing. And so tell me, for those that don't know, how did this whole Van Wirsing thing start?
I think it was a combination of Glenn Hamilton and Fedge Herb.
Yeah.
I believe it was for Fedge July, which is Fedge's party.
Last year,
in
sure.
Anvil,
Yep.
Yeah. They had, over the years, Glenn had mentioned to me, about Van Halen and doing something, even as far back as when Solar Federation played at the Ephrata Theater. Mm-hmm. That I don't even know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
But, and then, Fedge also had wanted to do like a Van Halen thing, like a set at Fedge July. And so I seized on that. Both, I'm like, I'll do a Van Halen set. It was time.
Yeah.
And so we did it. And in the back of my mind, I had no intention of just doing one show. Because, since I was a kid, my first inspiration on guitar was Eddie Van Halen. I got obsessed. I just played his stuff endlessly. There was some magic about it, And so all these years later, to have the opportunity to do a tribute band, I was like, I don't want to just do one show. So that's kind of how it got rolling. And with any band, I think a really important thing is the chemistry. And I already know I have chemistry with like Fedge and Mike Bitts and the moment we played together, I felt that same kind of chemistry with Mike Waskovich and Glenn and everybody. So, and even Julie's in the band.
Yeah, she comes up and sings a few songs. Yeah.
Yeah, and that chemistry is almost more important than skill.
Oh yeah.
Because if you enjoy being with each other, the band has longevity, and you get to know each other's playing, and the fact that basically half of the band is Solar Federation.
Yeah, right.
It's like we already kind of know each other's playing.
Yeah.
But that's how it started, was just, Glenn and Fedge.
Well, I remember that you guys were doing a Solar Federation rehearsal at Fedge's, I believe.
Yeah.
And seemed to me that maybe Mike Bitts on keys started fooling around with the jump riff, and then you jumped in, and then Julie started singing, some of the lyrics or whatever, and it was maybe if my memory serves, this would have been probably like last spring-ish, like maybe a 90-second video. And I remember I saw it and I remember the comment that I made was, if this whole Solar Federation thing doesn't work out, which of course you guys have a long history in 10 years plus and very, very successful, but it kind of tongue in cheek, I was like, if this whole Solar Federation thing doesn't work out, you might have something here.
Yeah.
Little did I know.
Well,
Yeah.
and even as far back as with the Julie Schreiber band, we'd play Van Halen.
Right. Now, was
So-
that you? Were you the one that was saying, hey, Julie, let's do some Van Halen?
Yes.
Yeah. You're looking that way because Julie, in full disclosure, is just off camera. So, yeah.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Yeah. I get it, man. I mean, not a musician myself.
Steve, I do remember, speaking of comments
Yeah.
online, there was a Solar Federation fan that put on there, no.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because I think they thought we were becoming a Van Halen tribute.
Yeah.
They're just separate bands that
Yeah.
are going to continue. Both
Yeah. Yeah. And full disclosure, too. I mean, I always say in this and in this podcast, I'm the voice of the fan, and I get to be in the crowd, which is pretty cool because people humbly, they'll kind of talk to me and like give me feedback and things along those lines. I think everybody, your inherent fan base, gets it, but I would say whether they're Van Wirsing fans or whether they're Solar Federation fans, and this is a credit to what you do, what most people say, they understand that you have, real lives and real jobs. But the biggest thing I usually get is, man, I wish they played more. Gosh, I wish, Having said that, it does make it really special when you guys do play. I try not to miss it if I can,
Yeah.
So,
I'd be open to playing more with, both bands.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of work involved in planning those shows, and it's us that does all that.
Yeah.
To the most part.
right.
So it's like to do that with jobs.
Yeah.
It can be difficult sometimes, but
Well-
it depends on if tour managers or agencies kind of help take it over and
Yeah.
take some of that weight off.
Yeah.
That changes all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's another thing people don't sometimes understand is the business side of things. But to your point, I mean, Mike Waskovich just won Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame award for his
Yeah.
normal or main project, Very Fine Gentleman. So yeah, and Mike Bitts obviously just played New York, not that long ago, and
Yeah.
he's got a lot of things going on. I know he's also very active in what he does. He works, I talked to him one time and he was saying, oh, no, I can't be there for this because he's very active in his church and like musical director and all that stuff. He's really passionate about it. So I know you guys are getting pulled in, 1,000 different directions.
Mike's a beast. He's
Yeah.
always doing something.
Yeah.
He's like probably the most professional musician out of all of us. Waskovich probably too. I
Yeah.
mean, he's doing recording and he has his own studio and all that kind of stuff.
And Mike's such a great guy, and I've had the same experience. Growing up here, and I remember Julie telling a story about, how excited she was to meet Mike Bitts because of Innocence Mission, and I saw Innocence Mission at the Chameleon like literally when I was like 19 or 20 years old, So, and then it's like, wow, like that guy is like the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
No ego, no, you're like, no, yeah, he's just Mike. Yeah.
I don't think Mike Bitts I don't think I've ever seen him get mad. Like he's just very pleasant.
Yeah.
Always. And
Yeah.
very professional and
Yes.
and nice and it's
Yeah,
he's
you've
a
been
great guy.
lucky in that you have kind of fallen, dare I say it, a little bit through happenstance, circumstance, but then, yeah, the folks that you're working with are just, and I know from being around you guys, I mean, you guys are friends.
Yeah.
If you weren't in a band, you'd be keeping in touch, you'd be texting each other, you'd be breaking each other's chops, you know what I mean? So that's really cool.
That brings up something I was thinking about lately. It's interesting seeing the difference between these two bands in the fact that, with Solar Federation, we've been a band for like 10 plus years, like you were
Yeah.
saying. And, we don't we're not constantly texting each other because we've been a band for a long
Long
time.
time.
And, you kind of get, it's like a bands are like a marriage.
Sure.
And, you know, I think
A four-way marriage or a five-way marriage, right? Yeah.
yeah, and
It's tough.
I think when the longer you're married, you know, sometimes Julie and I, we can just sit on a couch and just not even talk. We just want to be next to each other.
Yeah.
And we don't have to like talk. And I know
Right.
she's there, you know.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, I think with Solar Federation, we've been together for a long time. So we don't like constantly, you know, talk to each other
Yeah.
on text and stuff.
Right.
But I know that those guys are my friends.
Yeah.
With Van Wirsing, it's much newer, so we're like, you know, constantly, you know. But yeah, it's just interesting to see the difference in those bands.
How do you find the balance between the two? Because, you know, you were quote unquote, you know, busy enough just doing the Solar Federation thing, and now you've added in the dates with Van Wirsing, and then suddenly, you know, I do it too. You know, I have a calendar and I look and I go, oh, you know, how's that balance working out between the two bands and managing the dates and managing the times and the travel?
I would say since Solar Federation has been around the longest, we kind of give, you know, first dibs to Solar Federation. We
Good way of putting it, yeah.
We try to get that booked
Sure.
first, you know, and so we book Solar Federation first. And we try to book way ahead, and then of course Van Wirsing comes in next. But I try to keep at least a 2-week buffer, because just going from Van Halen to Alex Lifeson, you know, I need a little bit of time to like switch gears.
Yeah.
Because they're very different from each other.
Very. And we're going to talk about that a bit,
Yeah.
because that's something that I personally, again, as a fan, I'm super, super curious about. I know you got, well, we're kind of still talking a little Van Wirsing here. I know you've got a really, really exciting date that's coming up here shortly. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, I think you're talking about the Bret Michaels band.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's through Glenn.
Yeah.
You know, because he's interviewed.
He's got contacts and knows
He's
people
interviewed
and-
Bret
yeah,
for
right.
years, and I think they're, you know, friends. So,
Yeah.
but
When you have somebody's cell phone number and he has Bret Michaels' cell phone number, it's not BS. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Well,
he has a relationship with
I
him.
have to say though,
Yeah.
I mean, I've met a few celebrities, you know,
Yeah.
over the years, and I think I'm probably just an awkward guy when I come up to somebody that I find to be a hero, and then it makes them feel awkward. So like, my meetings with celebrities have not gone well. They're kind of like, I feel like they're annoyed,
Right.
or they're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
But Bret Michaels was very friendly.
Yeah.
He was very professional. He was very generous. He like stays there to meet every fan that came to meet with him, to the point of exhaustion almost.
Yeah.
Like I was very impressed with
Yeah.
like how he treats people and how professional he is, and he's just very. There was this. I don't think it should be a problem for me to talk about this, but before I went on stage to play Eruption, right? It's just like me.
Right. The
You
first
know.
time you played with Bret.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was a little nervous,
Sure.
but I remember.
Was that the biggest crowd you'd ever played to personally?
I think it was about 5,000
Yeah.
people. That's all. That's probably along the same lines as A Night for Neo. So it's
Oh yeah.
it's probably
up there.
up there.
Up there. Yeah. So on top of, you know, playing Eruption, that's not hard.
Yeah.
You're doing it in front of 5,000 people. You're not in your bedroom anymore rehearsing. Yeah.
The difficult thing about that was, you know, it's humid outside, so my fingers started to stick to the fretboard, and I'm like, oh no. So I'm like doing the tapping, and I'm like, please move,
please,
don't get stuck.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of threw me off a tiny
Yeah.
bit, but I overcame it.
Yeah.
You know,
You,
so I
you
was
only
happy
get
about
one
that.
shot at it, but back to Bret and how professional he was and everything.
Well, he had just reached out through one of the people that work with him to just make sure I didn't feel like it was all on me when I was playing it. He wanted to make sure I wasn't feeling like nervous and I was
Wow.
I was all
It's
right.
awesome. Yeah.
And that meant a lot to me,
Yeah.
that he was even thinking about that.
Yeah. I won't, try to misrepresent my relationship with Bret Michaels, but just over the years, Poison, shows, concerts, I've been backstage. My biggest takeaway with Bret Michaels is, yeah, he's never been anything but a professional, upstanding guy. I think the bottom line is that he never forgot where he came from,
Yeah.
and he never forgot what it was like when he was struggling and trying to make it, and the crowds were getting bigger and the nerves.
Yeah.
I think he's got a great appreciation for that, which is an admirable quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one side note too, that really it's what makes it kind of special to me to be on the stage with him is I remember probably one of the first cassettes that my mom allowed me to buy when I was probably like 8 or 10 years old was Poison. Look what the Cat Dragged In.
Yeah. The first record, yeah.
I just was seeing stuff on MTV and.
Yep.
You know, Poison, like really, they were like one of the biggest bands of that whole era.
Sure.
You know, I mean, they were always on MTV.
Yeah.
And they kind of really exuded that whole 1980s, like the energy
absolutely.
and like excitement and like
The look,
yeah,
everything, yeah.
And the fact that all these years later, I actually can be on the same stage.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, even with like Vixen and Fuel.
Oh, sure.
When I was growing up, like I was so into all that stuff in the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
And just that I'm on the same stage with them.
Yeah.
You know, with playing Van Halen.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
It's just
How did I get here? This is pretty cool.
it's just kind of a full circle.
Yeah.
Because with Van Halen too, it was my first inspiration on guitar.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was like, I probably should learn some other stuff too, and not just be an Eddie Van Halen clone. But
Yeah.
now, all these years later, here I am. You know.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. Down the road, it actually, turned out to be something that you could put to great use.
I kind of realized when I was a kid, I had a knack for unraveling the riddle of like a player. I mean, to a certain extent.
Sure.
And I enjoyed like figuring out how they did what
they
they
did
did, and I now realize that I can use that skill in
Yeah.
bands now.
And the date for the Bret Michaels show is
July
July
11th.
11th. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Granville.
Granville, obviously, you can find all the information online, whether you check out the Van Wirsing website, or you look up Bret Michaels, or even if you look up the venue over at Hollywood Casino in Granville. So yeah, that's gonna be an awesome night coming up on July 11th. I hope to bring you good weather.
Yeah. Rain or shine.
Rain or shine, man. It's one of those summertime shows, right?
I guess if
Central
it rains
PA.
too much, then it'll get moved, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I would say this. It's very rare in July that we would just have a rainy day.
Yeah.
More likely is, hopefully, maybe a 20-minute thunderstorm line that comes through, and then, okay, everybody, we're good to go.
Well, one thing I learned about really hot weather is bring some fret ease.
Freddy's, is that...
Yeah,
helps.
I was like skeptical of that
Yeah.
stuff because I was like, oh, if your calluses are good enough. But when you're playing outside and you sweat and your fingers get all sticky, that stuff is a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Just to like put on a rag, wipe on the strings.
Yeah.
Your fingers don't get stuck.
Yeah.
It has helped me so much with outdoor gigs.
Yeah. Well, not ready to announce it yet, but I also know that later on this fall, there's going to be a Van Wirsing gig. It's not official yet.
Yes,
Yeah.
October.
So just kind of file that one away. Look for an announcement in October. And I actually heard that there's already a booking for 2027.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two,
Again, two. Okay. So again, give them a follow, pay attention, come
There's
on out
Shy
and see
Bear
'em.
as well.
Oh, that's right. Shy Bear's coming up. Yeah,
Yeah,
outside.
That's in August.
Yeah, right.
I
Shy
think
Bear.
It's
Yeah.
August 28th or 29th. That's really cool for a, kind of beautiful outdoor,
Yep.
like it's in the middle of like.
Yeah, and everybody has like picnic tables and whatnot, and yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's a kind of an intimate,
Yeah.
fun place. And like the owners of Shy Bear are really nice. The beer is really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I know the beer, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah.
I can't really drink beer. But
Yeah, especially not on a gig, especially not on a show. Yeah.
That's the one thing about Rush and Van Halen, like the guitar parts are so intricate.
Oh, yeah.
Like I cannot have. I remember one time I had a shot just to kind of take the edge off before
Yeah.
one of our Rush shows, and I screwed up so much.
You're like, never again.
Yeah, it just takes too much concentration.
Yeah, it takes, yeah. Well, talk about that a little bit. I know it's hard for you to, and it's one of your better qualities, Eric, to be honest with you. It's hard for you to talk about yourself. It's hard for you to pump up your own tires. But I'll just tell you what the other guys in your band say. And the other guys in your band say, yeah, we're having a blast. We're having a really good time. We all bring something to it. But this does not happen. It's a Van Halen tribute. This does not happen if we don't have the guitar player. You know, so I know you feel some of that pressure. The question I have for you is, have you gotten to a point now, and you've really only played like 5 or 6 gigs is what I feel like. You know, it's basic. You played Fedge of July, which was last July. So you guys aren't even a year old, right?
Yeah, well, our second gig was
Brett Michaels.
Yeah.
I've told people that story. Their first gig was a backyard party, and their second gig was with Brett Michaels. Yeah, that's not a story that is a story arc that most people can say. But the point being is that, you know, have you gotten to a point where you really can sit back, relax, and enjoy it, or are you also going, do you feel that, and it's a Van Halen tribute, and people, when they come out to see a Van Halen tribute, it's just point of fact, most of the focus, or a lot of the focus is going to be on the guitar player. How do you handle that?
You know, I'm still kind of figuring that out.
Yeah.
I think I practice that stuff so much because I come from a classical background.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mom is an opera singer, so I always kind of came from like classical musicians practice what the composer
Yeah, and you went to
wrote.
school for music, so people
Yeah.
know. Yeah, right.
So they practice what the composer wrote and they tried to bring that to life, not like kind of learn it and then do your own thing. So I come from that kind of background. So I practice these incessantly,
Yeah.
you know, because I know that there's people in the audience who sometimes drive from like a couple hours away and
yeah.
they're taking time out of their Friday,
Yeah.
you know, which is fun time.
Yeah.
And I want to I want to bring them to that place.
Yeah.
I want them to like be affected emotionally and have fun.
Yeah.
So I practice my butt off for those.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, no matter how much I practice, I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with both bands, well, with Van Halen, like Eddie is, I would say that's what Van Halen swirls around. Then secondary would be David Lee Roth, you know, but yeah, it's, there's some pressure there, but I practice enough where I'm not super nervous, but a couple days before the show, I start to get nervous, you know, and I start to think about, oh, what about that note in that song that that's always hard to hit, or, you know, there's always, I think about whatever. And then once I get up on stage, I'm fine and I'm having fun. And then once the gig's done, I'm like, that was awesome. And I want to go back up again.
How much prep do you put in? How much time do you put in day of show? Do you have a warm up routine that you go through, or are you one of those guys that's kind of better off? Like, I've done all my prep. I'll make sure everything's in tune, but you know, let's go get it.
I don't really do much warm up for the shows because I've spent so much time just prepping every day that, you know, I'm pretty much know what to expect from my fingers. But I mean, I may noodle for a minute or two before we get on, but I want to save my hands for the show.
Yeah. I like that. That's actually a really, really good way of putting it. Well, a little bit later on, we're actually going to have you play some guitar. We're actually going to have that thing sing a little bit. But obviously want to talk Solar Federation. A lot of really exciting things coming up with Solar Federation too. A really cool date that you guys are going to have in New York City.
Yeah.
That I think Solar Fed fans, if they don't know already, will be really happy to hear about. So, and we're also going to really put you on the hot seat. You're going to have to start telling me what you think, or your personal 3 favorite Van Halen and 3 favorite Rush songs.
I'm somewhat
to play.
prepared for that.
Yeah. So stick around. We'll be right back with more from Eric Wirsing.
Yes.
So I want to dive in with you a little bit, Solar Federation. Some exciting things coming up with Solar Federation, but first thing let's talk about the the elephant in the room. For Solar Federation fans and for Rush fans, curious, I've asked this same question of some of your Solar Federation bandmates. I have not asked you, obviously. Where are you at with the tour? How do you feel about it as a fan? And are you planning on going to any shows?
Oh yeah, Julie and I are going to a couple shows.
Yeah.
I would say there's definitely a lot of opinions about
Sure.
this whole thing, but I never thought it was impossible for them to do what they're doing, because I figured they would get the itch at one point, because why would they want to? They probably love doing what they do.
Right.
Anyways, so I think it's great. And now, one other thing I want to say though is I think like Rush is it's going to always be Neil, Geddy, and Alex, because I know John Rutsey was before Neil, and we have that first album from John Rutsey, but I think the Rush that we love and is the pinnacle is those three guys. But I think that this is the third iteration of Rush, and I think they're going to play very well. I think they'll do a great job. It gets fans together in these big arenas again. It revs up that whole machine. So I feel like lucky that we get the opportunity to go see the two living members of Rush perform on stage again, and the Rush family gets to get together. So I think, I know there's a lot of mixed opinions because Rush fans are very passionate, and I love that about Rush fans. That's one thing that makes it fun, because like all the work you put in, Rush fans notice that. But I just think that Rush fans also like to fuss, because they just love it so much that
That's a politically correct way of saying, and I'm one of them. Rush fans like to bitch, but yeah. And sometimes they bitch just because, but it's
they want to talk and debate about it.
They want to talk about it,
and that's all part of what makes it fun for them.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's fine. It's a whole ecosystem of people and different opinions. But in the end, I think if the tour goes well, I think that more Rush fans will come around who maybe are skeptical. But I myself, though, I'm going to 2 shows with my wife.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy those because I love seeing Rush played in a big arena like that. And Annika Niles, I think, is going to be a very, very good drummer.
Yeah, everything I've
Yeah.
seen so far.
Yeah.
The clip of where they played, was it the Juno Awards?
Yeah.
Where they came out and surprised everybody and did a song. I think they did Finding My Way.
I think they did Finding My
Yeah.
Way because it's kind of saying,
Back to the beginning.
We're
Yeah.
resetting back to
Yeah.
the beginning. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it actually kind of, I didn't know Geddy, he wasn't singing some of those high songs for a while. And he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he did.
So it made me excited about all of it,
Yeah, for what it's worth, my take on it, and as you know, I'm a massive, massive, massive Rush fan. They're on my Mount Rushmore of bands, you know what I mean? I'm a huge fan. My take on it is like, they haven't done shows. It's not like this was a year after Neil passed away. In typical Rush fashion, they took their time. I think they're doing it, by and large, in a classy way.
Yeah.
There's some grumbling about the tickets and how those got rolled out, but that could be a big management issue that people don't realize how big the machine is.
Ticketmaster.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. If griping about Ticketmaster was a crime, right, the prisons would be like beyond overcrowded, so.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing it in a pretty respectful way. It's 6 years since Neil passed away, more than 10 years since they played their last show. They didn't rush this.
We also don't know
No pun intended.
what Neil and them they talked about. He may have said, "Hey guys, if you guys decide to go out and tour again as Rush, I'm totally cool with that." We
Yeah,
we
you're
have
right.
no
We
idea
don't
what
know
they
that.
talked about.
Yeah, we don't know that. That's a very good point. I never really even considered that.
But also choosing a female drummer.
Yeah.
It's just like they went completely different direction.
Yeah. What was your? Because I know exactly where I was. I know exactly what I was doing when it popped up on my phone. I thought it was a hoax.
Yeah.
What was your initial reaction when you somebody either told you or you saw Rush announce his tour? Because I don't know that I've ever seen an announcement. I don't know how they kept that so quiet. Like it just one day, 10 o'clock in the morning, wham! Rush is coming back and they're touring. There were no leaks. There were no nothing. Everybody was like, "What?"
They had that stuff locked down
Yeah.
tight because, I being tied in a little bit with the Rush community.
Yeah.
Like usually I would hear about it. I had heard nothing. It
No.
took me by surprise.
Yeah.
I was like,
What was your first thought when you saw that? Were you like, "Cool," or were you like,
I was skeptical. I didn't know what to think, to be honest.
"Same"?
I was kind of like, wait a minute, but they said that they weren't going to do that. So I was like, well, but they are going to do that. I just didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
But I came around pretty quickly.
Same. I think, pretty much that day when you started to see the things that they were saying and how for the two of them, which, I know there's a lot of Rush fans tuning into this, so sorry, I know this is a rehash for you, but, not surprisingly, Alex and Getty hanging out as buddies,
Yeah.
start noodling, takes a long time.
They were kind of building us up, I think,
Yeah.
a little bit because
Yeah.
they were like, yeah, we've been jamming on Rush
Yeah,
stuff.
it takes a long time. Then eventually, in like Getty's basement studio or whatever, started running through some Rush tracks, So I think it's come about in a really cool and really organic way. Well, along with that, first of all, Solar Federation gig on June 13th at XL Live.
Yeah,
in
we're really
Harrisburg.
excited about that one.
Yeah.
Actually, we are hosting Neil's two sisters, Judy and Nancy.
How cool is that?
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're basically coming in to raise money for Neil's statues. So Julie and I have been to Lakeside Park a few times now, and there's the Neil Pavilion there, and now they're wanting to build a memorial with these two statues of him.
Yeah.
I think Michael McDonald, I think, is the guy who's building that. So to fund that, I think Rush actually is donating money from ticket sales or something from their tour. But Neil's sisters are going around to different tribute bands and different events to raise money for it as well. So that's one of the big reasons they're coming out to the show. And they're going to be kind of part of the VIP experience that we're
Sure.
doing there too. Just because they wanted to be,
Yeah.
They like meeting people. So
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure, probably a lot of the heaviness isn't as bad as it once was, but it probably helps them. At
Yeah.
this point in time, 6 years removed, to hear
Yeah.
people talk about how much they love Neil.
Well, Neil's mom passed recently.
Right.
She is like the coolest lady. Like we got to meet her a couple times, and she's awesome. You can see where Neil's,
Yeah.
I don't know how to articulate it, but
Personality /
tough lady,
Yeah.
very nice lady, awesome, smart.
demeanor, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. And his parents were really salt of the earth people.
yeah.
They ran a parts counter, So, yeah, he was not somebody that came up, of privilege or anything along those lines. He was, and very cool. That for those who don't know, Lakeside Park was an early Rush song, but it was
Yep.
also where Neil had worked. I believe as like a teenager. It was like an amusement park / whatever, just a hangout place, and
Yeah,
So he had history with it, so he kind of wrote a song about it. So, and
Yeah.
it's St. Catherine's, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Lakeside Park may be about one of his siblings or
Yeah.
memories with them. I'm not quite
Right.
sure.
Yeah, but it's a place that held a special, for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lighthouse, especially.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
still
there you
there.
go.
There's two
Yeah.
lighthouses now.
Yeah. And then beyond that, and again, that's June 13th at XL Live.
Yes.
Next opportunity to see Solar Federation. For those who haven't been there, man, if you're contemplating making the trip, XL Live, I cannot endorse. It's a great room. It's just a great place to see a show.
Yeah, the lighting.
Yeah, it's a
screen,
great
yeah.
place. It's. I've been to shows there that have been sold out, and it's still not ridiculously like, it's a very comfortable place to go and
Well,
see a
and
show.
they treat musicians
Yeah.
who play there really well. I mean, it's a great green room. You know, the stage is fantastic. Their technicians for sound and lighting are
Yeah, they're
excellent.
pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is a great, and it's just exciting to play at a place like Excel.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And then later in the summer, something that I don't want to say is more special. but-
There is
Something
a
in
second,
between?
There is a second big show in June.
Okay.
We're playing at the Borgata in Atlantic
Oh, that's
City.
right. Yep. Yeah, the
Which
music
is-
box, right?
Yeah, which that
You've played there before, correct? Yeah.
yeah, that has state of the art
Oh, yeah.
lighting and everything. I mean, it's just, and they also treat us really, really well. I mean, the Borgata like goes out of their way to, it makes you feel like a rock star.
It has to. It
And
must.
That's a legendary
Oh,
place to play.
no
mean,
doubt.
it's-
I saw Ace Frehley there.
yeah,
you know,
it's,
yeah.
I can't believe we're playing in some of these venues.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Feds told me, he was like, when we first formed the band, I thought, man, if we could just play Tellus 360 in Lancaster like 3 times a year, I thought we made it, you know. So, and obviously it's taken off way beyond that. What's the date for the Borgata show?
June 20th, I believe.
Okay,
Is that right, Julie?
June 20th it is.
Julie's showing me Morgan McDonald is the sculptor for
Oh, okay.
Neil's statues.
Gotcha.
And a side note, but
Well, you know, I thought it a little curious that Michael McDonald of Doobie Brothers fame was. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna
be there.
Yeah, Yum will be there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. for
But
that,
yeah,
Julie.
the Borgata though, I mean, the hotel room that they have, it's immaculate. You know, people like to gamble.
Oh,
The
sure.
food there is great.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like a destination going out to Atlantic City.
Absolutely.
You know, New Jersey. So
Yeah, for those who don't know, Borgata is one of the nicer, if not nicest, casinos in Atlantic City.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
really
people are
nice.
like, oh, Atlantic City, it's a little. No,
yeah,
Atlantic City's changed a lot, and that place is phenomenal.
you could literally just go to the Borgata and stay there,
stay there
and have
and
fun.
there's people that do. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just go in for the weekend and whatnot. So then I skipped ahead of myself. Thanks for
That's okay.
correcting me. Because I did want to talk about this New York show, which is
Yes.
really, really cool. So you're going to be playing in New York, correct me if I'm wrong, the night before Rush plays Madison Square Garden. And I believe that's late July.
Julie's got a much better memory than me.
Okay. Okay, there's 2 dates. Are you playing?
There's 4 dates total.
There's 4 dates at the Garden? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're playing in between the first and the second date. Now we
Yeah.
got it. It's a Wednesday night.
And it's Geddy Lee's birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the night
yeah.
we're playing.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Getty will come in and we can sing him happy birthday. Alex can come too.
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
I'll let him
Stranger
play
things.
his signature guitar. If he
Yeah,
wa-
stranger things have happened.
That place is called Racket NYC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not too far. I looked it up because I'm going to be there.
Awesome.
Yeah, along with some guy named Glenn Hamilton. You may have heard of him.
Yeah, that name
Oh,
sounds
you know
familiar.
what? I don't know if he's going to be there that night, but the other guy that is at least coming to New York is this guy named Mike Waskovich. You may have heard of him.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. I think the latest plan is that me and Glenn and Waskovich are all going to be on the same train
Yeah.
to New York. So
Yeah, I'd say, you know, for people who are planning to travel in, definitely use, you know, public transportation.
Oh, yeah, if you can.
Bus is fine, and train.
Oh, the train is the way to go. For anybody that does not know, if
Yeah.
you can get a train into New York City, you literally get dropped off at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
yeah.
Madison Square Garden's amazing.
Yeah. I've never seen a concert there.
We saw Ghost.
Oh, I saw that you guys went and saw Ghost. And I remember I did not have you guys pegged as Ghost fans. Well, maybe you a little bit, because I know last time you were here on the podcast, you had an And Justice for All t-shirt on. I was like, my man.
Yeah.
I love Ghost. I'm a huge, huge Ghost fan. I just think that they're almost a new version of like Blue Oyster Cult, very theatrical, great catchy songs. I don't want to go down a Ghost rabbit hole, but yeah.
Oh yeah. No, they're I got Julie into them, and now they're one of Julie's favorite bands.
Yeah.
She's not a super metal fan,
Right.
but I think that they've made her a metal fan, and the guy writes good songs.
Yeah.
And the theatrics of it all,
yeah.
it's all tied together and well
Yeah.
thought out. And
Yeah. It's
just-
kind of a throwback. I mean, the music's modern, but the stage production and everything that they do, it reminds me of like when I was a kid and like in '84 when you go see Iron Maiden, you know what I mean? It'd be like, whoa, this is like so unbelievable.
Well, and the album Prequel,
Yeah.
that's my favorite album because, I mean, that whole thing's about the Black Plague.
Yeah.
And, I think that was just like kind of the Catholic Church and
Yeah.
how that was all tied together.
Right.
And the songs just sound like that era somehow.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen I've been to a hockey game at Madison Square Garden. I've never been to a show, and it was actually Glenn. He texted me and he's like, it might have been the day they announced the date. I can't remember if the Madison Square Garden date was announced right away when they announced the tour, but he was just like, dude, we're going. And I was kind of on the fence. Me personally, I was kind of on the fence about it. I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm. In other words, I saw Rush a ton of times. There was a part of me that I'd already made peace with the idea that if I never see them again, and there's a very good chance I won't, I'm
Yeah.
good.
And I think a lot of people it was difficult for them to come to terms
Yeah.
with that Rush was done.
Yeah.
And that's why I think when Geddy and Alex are like, hey, we're going on tour again, it just brought up a lot of emotions for people.
Yes.
And
It was like picking a scab to a degree.
yeah.
Yeah, for
exactly.
people that are like die hard. Yeah. For the people that remember exactly where they were and what they were doing when Neil Peart passed away, when they got that news.
I was
yeah,
sitting on my couch at home and I was like,
I get emotional talking about it to this day.
I would just like,
It hit me that
I
hard.
thought that was a joke.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this has got to be
yeah.
a hoax.
Yeah,
And then I was like, oh my God.
yeah. That was funny. I told Feds this story because we swapped stories about, I know how hard it hit him, obviously. But with my scheduling, I get up really early and do the news thing. And so I usually take a nap in the afternoon. And the news had broken like midday or afternoon or whatever. And
Neil and Eddie's passing like affected me more than any other artist.
Eddie's was as well. Yeah. But my
Sorry
wife,
to-
so no, I both took a long time to process. My wife came in and she woke me up, which she never does. And I was like, "What's going on?" And she had this look on her face. Well, the first thing I thought of was my parents, my kids. What's and she's like, "I got some bad news," and I'm like, "What?" And for half a second, I had a little bit of relief, and then I absorbed it, and so the whole thing about them, touring again and whatever. So thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Mike. They were kind of the catalyst for. They didn't really give me. I was on the fence, and they were like, "We're going." I'm like, "All right, we're going."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Both Glenn and Washkovich are really excited about it, and they, cool. I'm no longer on the fence. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it. Really excited about your show. You said it's called Racket.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
Racket NYC. It's a really nice venue. I mean, it's got great lighting and everything. Because some New York venues are, I won't say anymore, but
I wouldn't know. I've never done the New York club scene. I'm a Central PA yokel local. So,
I played a couple. I was in a metal band for a little bit, and we played a couple places in New York, and it was not
Little
nice.
sketch?
But this Racket is like a top-notch
Yeah.
venue. I think it fits about 200 people, so it's limited.
Yeah.
Seating. What's
Wow.
that, Julie? Well, there's two stages. There's a 600-person stage, and then there's a 200-person stage. So we're doing the 200-person.
okay.
But,
well, geez, I don't want to. How it's tough. It's tough out there, but
Hey, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we can come back and do the 600-person. But
Yeah.
first time in New York. But it's going to be a cool show because it's kind of like a fan celebration
Sure.
of the fact that Rush is touring. And there's going to be lots of Rush
The
fans.
thousands that are going to be in New York. That's why
Yeah.
I think that
Give them something to do.
I don't want to, because you and I know how the business works, but I don't want to say like, oh God, you guys will pack 200 people. That's not enough. Because you never know, and it is a weeknight. You never know, but there's
I'd
inherently
rather
going to be
pack
thousands.
it
Yeah,
and,
right.
you know.
Then play the 600 seat room and have it be half full or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's our first time in New York. We don't
Yeah.
know. But it's kind of going to be a fan celebration, and we're going to try to play tunes that Rush is not playing on tour. I mean, not all of them will be that way. But
yeah,
But our friend Jim, who's known as the mayor of Rush fans, we're talking with him about just kind of hosting it, to make it a fan celebration.
yeah. Well, he could probably get a lot of stuff out there on social media that would help you guys out too.
And only Rush fans could go and see Rush in an arena and then want to actually see more Rush when
yeah.
Rush isn't playing.
Yeah, I'm just bummed I can't see all 5 nights. You know what if
Yeah.
I'd go. I would if I could. I've seen Rush back to back before. So yeah, I
Julie
would if
and
I
I
could
are-
and if I could afford it. Yeah.
Julie and I are going to a Toronto show as well.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Now
there's like
that- yeah.
all these events. I go golfing in the Peart Family Golf Tournament. That's the same week. There's Rush Day at Henderson Brewery, which is always fun. That's where Rush beer is made. There's Rush Con. There's Rush Fest Canada. I'm forgetting one, aren't I? Am I forgetting one? What's that? Oh yeah, and of course the Rush concert itself.
that,
So
yeah, right.
There's a bunch of events all that week.
Yeah.
That it's like a smorgasbord
Sure.
of Rush stuff.
Sure.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Same thing. I was on the fence, and then Glenn reached out to me, and then some more ticket dates got announced, and another buddy of mine, he's like, and he lives in Tennessee, and he's a high school friend, and me and another buddy, we try to get together once a year and do like a little road trip, reliving our youth, and we're gonna see Rush in Detroit.
Glenn Hamilton seems like a bad influence on you.
It's bad influence on all of us.
He's getting you in trouble.
Look what happened to you in the last year. Yeah, yeah. You were just a one-man guy.
Glenn
Yeah.
is a powerhouse. Like he's a beast. I
Oh,
mean, he
God,
is.
yeah.
That guy has boundless energy, and is just. I don't get how he does all the stuff that he does. And I get so many compliments after our shows
Oh, yeah.
that Glenn. They're like, he's a great front man.
Oh,
He
he's a
sounds
performer.
like David Lee Roth.
He's a
I
performer.
mean, I'm lucky to play with the musicians I play with. Like
Yeah.
Fedge is just like probably
Yeah.
one of the best drummers I've ever played with.
Yeah.
I mean, I get to play with my wife, who I think is an exceptional singer. Glenn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Waskovich.
Yeah.
Is like,
And he's never played bass in a band before this.
well,
And he's doing it with Van
He's a
Wirsing.
great performer, great bass
Same.
player, and he's got his own studio, MBW Productions,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows he's very immersed in the music industry, so he's got a lot of valuable knowledge,
Yeah.
that I like to learn from him.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
So
Yeah, he's we all feel that way about Mike in that he's a good person to have, as they used to say back in the day on speed dial.
of
you
course,
know.
Mike Bitts. Too,
Oh gosh,
you know.
yeah, the aforementioned, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Is that it for Solar Federation dates that are official moving forward?
We have, we haven't really released this, but we're going to be playing at the Whitaker Center in early December.
Kind of your traditional time slot that
And then
that
also-
you played there before.
Yeah, that's kind of our customary time to play
Yeah.
at the Whitaker Center.
Right,
which
right
is-
around Thanksgiving, basically.
I love the Whitaker Center. Just
Yeah,
an awesome
same.
place. But we're also going to be playing at Double Barrel Roadhouse. We should be announcing that one soon. I believe that's in August.
And for those that don't know, that would be in Red Line, York County.
Yeah, it's a great venue too.
Another great room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I enjoy playing there. Another
Yeah.
place that really treats the musicians well.
yeah. Well, so much coming up for you, and as we always say, it's very, very easy. Every once in a while, till to this day, I'll be like, oh well, like man, if you really are struggling trying to figure out what dates are when, I can't really help you. So you can find all of the information that we've been talking about either via Solar Federation. You guys have a website. You're all over social media. Van Wirsing.
Solar Federation Band.
SolarFederationBand.com. That's important.
Yeah. I'm working on a website for Van Wirsing.
Okay. Well, you have a YouTube page now,
Yes.
and that's pretty cool.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah. And you just dropped a video on your YouTube page. For those that haven't seen you,
Yeah.
you've got a brand new video on your YouTube page. Panama, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah.
We have two. There's
Two?
Panama and Unchained, and we worked with GK Visual that did a great job
Yeah.
on that. That was not through me because I
Yeah.
know Jeff.
Yeah. Right.
But,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we did that we shot that video at Capital City Music Hall. I
Oh,
think
Capital
is what it's
Music Hall.
called,
Yeah. Right. Sure.
which very nice venue as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Relatively new.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
basically what that was from. We just wanted to have a couple nice videos.
Yeah.
Because we're just
see
getting
what it's all
started.
about. Yeah.
So we don't have a lot of live videos we can use. We're working on all of that, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's the game anymore, is building that brand. You know what I mean? Just branding and getting it out there. And I tell people all the time, about the time that you, as the person who is posting things on social media, no matter what, about the time you are really tired of talking about it, is about the time that a lot of people, believe it or not, are just kind of getting plugged in, because the world moves this fast.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, so okay, yeah, I'll think, yeah, XL Live, yeah, okay, that's in June. You know, yeah, so, yeah, so it's important, and I think it's great that you guys have a YouTube page and have some videos out there now where people can check out what you do.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
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 It's interesting trying to find ways of how to find your audience.
Yeah.
And also retain them. You
Yeah.
know, because like it used to be, you'd write down your mailing list.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean those are still relevant, but I mean I always worry that like social media it's volatile and it changes. You know,
Yeah.
we used to have MySpace and that turned
Yeah.
into Facebook and
The algorithm changes and the reach changes, and
yeah, so like, I think
Yeah.
being on all those is a
Yeah,
good idea
good
in
idea.
case one
Yeah.
disappears,
all right, when we come back, we are going to ask you your three favorite Van Halen, three favorite Rush songs to play, and we're also going to talk about what your favorite Van Halen record is and what your favorite Rush record is and why. So Van Halen Rush fans, stick around. Eric will divulge coming up next.
I'm ready.
All right, we're getting serious now. We've got the guitar in hand. So we'll start with Van Halen, because I'm super curious, and I know a lot of fans would be too, talking about two guitar gods here, Eddie Van Halen and Alex Lifeson. So for you, as a person who gets up there and plays this material, your three favorite, they don't have to be your favorite Van Halen songs, but your three favorite songs to play.
I would definitely say Light Up the Sky is one of my favorites. It's just a fun song to play.
Give us a little bit of it, if you don't mind.
Well, it starts out with and it also has that it just got some cool, fun to play parts in it. So that's one of my favorites to play.
Yeah. Not to mention, it's one of the songs that your wife comes up and joins you on stage for.
Yes, that too.
That was the biggest reason, but
got
aside
those
from
high-
that, it's got a really, it's got a really great riff.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I love that song. Hang 'em High is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
With
Drive
that-
Her Down.
And then I'd say the third one would be Hot for Teacher.
Oh, yeah.
with the-
well, yeah.
That solo is difficult because it's very rhythmically, Eddie's just kind of like really relaxed.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that.
I know I said three, but now I'm bonus question. What's the most for you? What's the hardest song to play in the Van Halen catalog?
Romeo Delight.
Yeah.
You know, the and the reason is because just the feel, the groove of that song, it's you really bass, drums, guitar, we really have to listen to each other and
Yeah.
focus on that song because it just got a lot of swing and
Yeah.
different stuff going on. And also that solo is just, I'll play it slow so I don't mess it up.
Thank
here.
you. Yeah.
And then this riff right here. And then it has like this. And then this riff right here. Just to go out of that solo, and
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
warmed up, so I'm like,
Yeah, no, but still, it's yeah,
but that is a very difficult solo
yeah,
to do. So I would say like the show last night, I actually felt good about how I played it, but it's hit or miss every.
yeah, it's tricky.
That is a hard solo
Yeah.
to do.
So switching gears here to Rush, your top 3 favorite Rush songs to play.
Definitely, Marathon would be the
Wow.
first. It just that's a cool. I can't do some of the whammy
Yeah.
bar stuff that he
Right.
does, but
You need your Gibson SG to.
yeah, I just think that's a cool sounding song, and that opening riff is just I just enjoy playing it. You know, if I had to pick a second one, it would be Open Secrets, and then maybe for the third one, Julie, can you help me out? What do you think? Limelight.
Well, yeah,
The guitar solo in that one is pretty fun to play.
it's the solo. I mean, there's a million of them, but that's
Yeah.
the biggie for Alex Lifeson.
It's not technique-wise fast or anything like
Right.
that, but it's difficult because everyone knows that solo.
Yeah,
Everyone knows that solo, and it's just like, if you mess it up, everybody
Oh,
knows.
That's not one you can mess up because
Yeah.
having seen you guys a bunch of times, and anybody who's a Rush fan knows you get to that part where that solo is supposed to come in, and everybody just stops,
Yeah.
stares at you.
Well, I'd say
Better
also
play it right. Yeah.
the Necromancer is a lot of fun to play.
I don't know how you guys do that. I saw you guys do that at Whitaker Center, and it just, yeah. I don't know how you, go
Yeah,
from
I-
one thing to another.
My wife's pointing at me, trying
Yeah.
to tell me something.
Yes. It's all him? Yeah. It's all because of you.
Well, the Necromancer, it took me like 4 months because there's 4 solos in that song. It
Yeah.
took me 4 months to transcribe it and then get it up to speed and then figure out how to make the tones work. And then I won't go into specifics, but I spent a bunch of time recreating like the backwards guitar because I don't know about other guitar players, but I haven't quite figured out how to play backwards guitar authentically, live.
Not
so
yet. Yeah, right.
you kind of have to like that. You have to have that track there
Mm-hmm.
if I want to make it sound like the album. So you have to have that track there because to have backward guitar.
Yeah.
So it took a while to do all that stuff, but
Most difficult Rush song for you to play, where you go, okay, I see it on the set list. This is, I really got to lock in. This one's a tough mountain to climb.
that's definitely La Villa Strangiata.
No surprise.
Yeah. So I mean, just all the curves and changes in that song. It's just like. And that solo.
And it just goes on, for 7+. Yeah.
And that's a very nebulous solo too. So like figuring out where to put those notes in the rhythm, isn't easy. And then coming out at the end, and then right into
Yeah. That time change, yeah.
yeah. It's just that song is very difficult. I think all of us are nervous except for Julie to play
Yeah.
that song live. That's Julie's break to
Yeah. Yeah. For those that don't know, it's an instrumental.
yeah. YYZ's difficult, but not like
Not
Villa
Villa,
Strangiato.
yeah. I'm sure you've seen the DVD, the Rush DVD that came out about 15 years ago. That was kind of a retrospective on their career. I believe it came out in like 2011. It was kind of like the Rush ultimate like documentary, and they had a bunch of different artists that were influenced by Rush on the documentary, and they were all saying, when we were kids or we were in our garage band, we were like 13, 14 years old. It'd be like, oh, but can you play La Villa, and that was like separated, the men and women from the boys. If you could play that, everybody was like, okay,
Yeah.
dude's good.
Yeah, some of Alex's, some of his fast stuff, it's really hard to transcribe that because he's just kind of freewheeling it.
Yeah.
That takes a long time to learn what he's doing,
How are Alex and Getty different yet similar? What? There's big differences, but I know there's also some similarities.
Do you mean Eddie
I'm sorry. Yeah.
and
yeah.
Alex? Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because, one with Getty and
Yeah.
Alex is Getty
Yeah.
plays
That's
bass.
that's the second beer talking. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that because
Yeah.
it's been interesting, like seeing the difference. They're about the same difficulty, but Eddie is more difficult in certain ways that Alex isn't. Like Alex, he's constantly changing the soundscape of his
Right.
tone, and the rhythmic parts are probably a lot more intricate, and there's a lot of odd time signatures. I think people really underestimate how good Alex is, and that he's just as, in my opinion, he is just as important in Rush as Getty and Neil were. But I think people don't realize that because I think Alex kind of stepped back and he makes up parts that are right for the band, and he doesn't try to like show boat.
Yeah. Rush
I'm not
fans
saying
know
that-
he's he was for a long time, and is a very unselfish player.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that Eddie is
Right.
selfish. It just Eddie's playing suits Van Halen
Right.
and what their goal is.
Yeah.
But Eddie, is difficult in other ways. Like he
Yeah.
plays fast stuff that's difficult.
Yeah.
It just there's not really a break in the song with Eddie. Like he's just going the whole time.
He also wasn't in a band with,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would dispute at least a top 5 all-time rock drummer. And many would argue, and I would be one of them, a top 5 all-time rock bass player. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
both, revered on their instrument. And then, I'm 1,000% with you. I've always thought that to a lot of folks out there that aren't just diehards, that, Alex Lifeson, while I don't want to say he doesn't, get his just desserts, I don't think he gets the amount of accolades that he should get as a guitar god.
Yeah.
He's never in any of those lists, like Guitar Magazine, top 25,
Yeah.
you hardly see him pop up. And to me, that's a joke,
Yeah, and again, I think it just, it's people don't. It kind of tricks you. You don't really see it because he's more subtle with what he's.
Well, he's so busy with the rhythms.
Yeah, and they're brilliant rhythms. Like I
Yes.
mean, sorry, one of my strings is a little out of tune, but
That's all right.
what a brilliant. He switches mid to like arpeggiation. So like. And his whole approach was like to create things that sounded like there was a second guitar player there to fill space. So he comes up with these really unorthodox riffs that give that impression. And it's very difficult to figure them out because he's brilliant in that way. But that's what makes him difficult, is those are intricate and difficult to do.
Top to bottom, your favorite Rush record and why?
I'd probably choose Hemispheres, and the reason is it's a very intricate album, and I like Hemispheres, just that Alex Lifeson chord, and there's a part in the Hemispheres, I think it's like 15 minutes. That song has this part where everything kind of drops out, and they go into this like Greek mythology section, and just that album is riddled with that stuff, and it's got classic songs. It's just such a progressive, intricate, awesome album.
Yeah, it was a big landmark at the time I remember when it came
Yeah.
out. And people were like, "Oh my God, have you heard this?" It was like, "Whoa."
But I think that's when Alex really started to use the chorus ensemble a lot. That pedal had just come out, and I mean, he really became connected to
Yeah.
that chorus sound.
Yeah. Favorite Van Halen record and why?
That's a tough one. If I had to
Balance.
pick one, yeah.
Which I love Van Hagar. Glenn and I have had this conversation. We love Van Hagar, but yeah.
Well, I would probably say Van Halen 1 because was my the first time I ever heard Van Halen was 5150. My brother had that CD, and it was before I had my own. We called them boom boxes or ghetto blasters back then.
Yeah.
So that was, I think that was a little too sophisticated for the age I was at. But when I was about 11 or 12, I heard Van Halen 1 and I heard Eruption, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say that album. But what was the other question that was part of that?
Really, it was just favorite album and why. That was it. Yeah.
That would probably be why. But
Yeah.
I know what I was going to say. You were talking about the Hagar era.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, to me, both eras are great because Eddie's in both of them.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that they were able to replace a frontman like David Lee Roth and actually still remain successful for a while. So I give props to Sammy. He's just a different type of singer than Dave.
Truth of the matter is, they sold more records.
Yeah, and well,
Sammy.
he changed the dynamics. It made Eddie kind of went more into a songwriting kind of mode and more keyboards and stuff like that. And to me, Eddie Van Halen lies in the personality he exudes through his instrument, which is the holy grail to me. When you become so good at an instrument that you can actually just subconsciously let your personality flow. That is very rare. And Eddie, that's what you hear in Eddie's playing. So whether he plays a lot of notes or not, you still hear him, and that's, I think, what people like about Eddie Van Halen. And you still hear that personality, whether it's the piano or guitar, or even if he's singing, so I think I like both eras, but I think the initial chemistry that innovated is with the Roth era. So I think that's why people a lot of times go back to the Roth era. That was that initial chemistry where David Lee Roth he sang, but he kind of more narrated at the same time, which gave more room, this is just my opinion, to Eddie to be busier with the guitar and showcase him and bring attention to him. But David Lee Roth is, definitely like one of the greatest frontmen, that there is. And,
Right.
But it's funny, a lot of people don't know that Ted Templeman wanted to get rid of Dave when they first
bring in
went studio.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the only person who could come in to Van Halen and make it work would be Sammy. I think the last great Van Halen album was For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. It's where they were still like a cohesive band to some extent, because Balance, I think there's some awesome songs on that, but you could tell they were breaking up.
Yeah,
And
it just
then
wasn't as good. Yeah.
and then after that, I just think I haven't listened to Van Halen 3 a lot, but I think Eddie was struggling a little bit and unfocused, and their manager had died, and it so different kind of Truth has some cool stuff on it though.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't really, but there are some moments on Van Halen 3 has some moments.
Yeah.
Just wrong record, wrong time. The music landscape had changed. It's just one of those things.
It's just less awesome. It's still
Yeah,
awesome, but
yeah.
it's less awesome
Yeah.
than some of the other
Yeah,
albums.
yeah, it's a great way of putting it. Well, Eric, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate you stopping back again.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Play horse.
Julie wants me to do the horsey.
Nice.
Are you happy, Julie?
Yeah. I've seen clips where Eddie would do that backstage. You know what I mean? It's like not too far before he would come on stage, just to kind of.
Or the elephant. I
Or
think
the
that's
elephant. Yeah, he did the elephant too.
I can't do it with
Yeah.
this guitar. It doesn't
Yeah.
that well. I tried.
Well, don't go anywhere, folks, because before we're not completely done. We're gonna have Eric play a little bit for us here, since he was gracious enough to bring his guitar. So stick around for that. But in the meantime, good to see you, man. And I'll see you again really soon.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was excited to get you on just so we could really you know, as the guy who's holding down, you know, carrying the weight of guitar in two very, very guitar-centric bands, really I wanted the fans to get a chance to. They come see you, but they don't get a chance to really hear from you. And I wanted people to hear, you know, what, some of your likes and dislikes and some of your favorites and where you're at and what's going on moving forward. So excited for you, my man. A lot of good stuff going on, and we'll see you out there again real soon.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Eric Wirsing, the great Eric Wirsing. Again, stick around. He's going to play us out. But thanks for tuning in to another edition of The Night Shift.
I had to get the
Oh, yeah.
first.
How about this one? Let's do that right. I haven't played that song for a little while.
Awesome.
Nice.
That was so much
Thank
fun.
you so much, man. That's
That was
great.
outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was so cool.